Next on the Gospel Bill Show.
Oh, excuse me. You wouldn't happen to be among the troops that are building the fort just outside of town?
Well, yes, sir, I am.
Folks, just think of the opportunity. If we can get enough signatures, 25,000 of them, Dry Gulch and the whole Southwest Territory can become a state and join up with the rest of the Union.
Well, let me give you something to think about. Once this nation is established, you might have a tough time operating this business. Good day.
Well, what's going on, Lana?
Well, he's got all the citizens of Dry Gulch. He's trying to get them to withdraw from the United States. What?
It's Adventures in Dry Gulch, featuring the Sheriff Gospel Bill, his sidekick, Nicodemus, the general store owner, Miss Lana, good old Elmer Barnes, banker and mayor, T.U. Tutwater, and the entire Dry Gulch gang.
Hey, Miss Lana.
Well, hey, Elmer, what can I do for you?
Do you have any earplugs?
Well, sure. How many pair you need?
I'll need 2 pairs, 2 itsy-bitsy ones.
What size?
Itsy-bitsy, about like that.
Elmer, if I give you that size earplugs, they'll fall in your ear.
Oh, Miss Lana, they're not for me.
Well, who are they for?
For Inky and Dinky.
You're going to buy earplugs for Inky and Dinky?
Yep.
Why?
Well, the 4th of July's coming, and I bought some firecrackers, and I'm afraid it's going to hurt their little ears.
Elmer, worms don't have ears.
We do, too.
They do not.
Well, good afternoon, y'all. Elmer, Miss Lana. Listen, are you aware of the exciting news about the fort being built outside of town?
Well, I've heard some about it.
Well, aren't you excited about what that's going to mean for us?
Well, what does it mean for us?
Well, I mean, there's going to be a whole new population out there. People that could come to town, open up accounts in my bank, why they're going to run the payroll for the Army through my bank. They'll probably even borrow money from my bank, maybe even open savings accounts
They
in
could buy
my bank.
supplies
All the time.
from my
I'll tell you,
store.
listen, I did come by to ask you to mail this letter to the commanding officer of the post. I'm extending to him a personal invitation to tour my bank and, of course, to receive a new calendar. I tell you, it's great to live in America. You are aware of the 3 cardinal virtues of being an American, aren't you?
Well, I guess I'm not.
Well, it's making money, making more money, and making even more money.
Folks, just think of the opportunity. If we can get enough signatures, 25,000 of them, Dry Gulch and the whole Southwest Territory can become a state and join up with the rest of the Union. Can I get your signature? Thank you.
Hello, Sam. What's going on here?
Hi, Mr. Tutwater. I was just collecting signatures for statehood. All we need are 25,000 of them. Could I get yours?
Anything I could do to help our community and this great country of ours, of course I'll sign. Here you go.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Worms do, too, have ears. They're just itsy-bitsy.
Elmer, worms do not have ears. Have you ever seen a worm's ears?
Well, you gotta look real close. They're just tiny, itsy-bitsy ones.
Hey, what's going on here?
Well, Elmer is telling me that worms have ears.
Elmer, worms don't have ears.
Oh, yes, they do, Sheriff. They're just itsy-bitsy ones. They got one on this side and one on this side.
Now, Elmer, all you got to do is take a magnifying glass and look at those worms up close, and you can tell just like anybody else, they don't have ears.
Well, that's just terrible. All this time I've been talking to them and they haven't heard me?
Well, I wouldn't say that, Elmer. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But look, you got a special way of communicating with worms, and everybody knows they got a special way of communicating with you, so I wouldn't be concerned with whether or not they had ears or not. Lana, I need to get my taxes sent off to the territorial capital.
Don't you wish you didn't have to pay taxes?
Well, it'd be nice, but we get a lot of good things in return for our tax money.
Like what?
Well, Elmer, we get postal service, for instance. I mean, if it wasn't for tax money, we couldn't mail letters. If it wasn't for tax money, we wouldn't be able to live in peace. Why, The soldiers in the Army make sure that strangers don't come in and steal our cattle and take our crops. We got roads. Elmer, we got a lot of good things.
Wow, I guess I never thought of all that before.
Well, sometimes people only think about the tax money, but I'll tell you, we enjoy the blessings of living in this country, and we ought to be willing to pay for our fair share. See y'all later.
I wonder if Inky and Dinky paid their taxes last year.
Well, what's going on here?
Well, we're collecting signatures for statehood. All we need are 25,000 of them.
So you think this territory ought to become a state, do you?
I sure do. We can elect senators, congressmen, and besides that, we can bring real progress to the territory.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think you're right. You've got a signature. It'd be great for this Southwest Territory to be part of the United States. Full-fledged member. I wonder what they'd call it. Well, I hope you get your signatures.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Oh, I can't concentrate on that. All I can think about is just that Army payroll floating in and out of my vault. Why, there's going to be 1,500 troops out there. Why, that's thousands of dollars in and out of my bank. Oh, Tutwater, you were always in the right place at the right time. And I guess it's my civic and national and patriotic duty to go check and see how they're doing. Oh, America, America. Excuse me, Sheriff. Do you know anything all about the fort outside town?
Well, I was out there a couple of days ago. What do you want to know?
Well, have they started construction yet?
Well, let's see. They had some lumber stacked up, and they'd cleared away some trees. But as far as building buildings, I don't think they'd started yet.
Well, you're looking at one guy that is really excited about that getting completed. Do you realize that my deposits will probably double when that's completed?
Well, how's that?
Well, now, where else are they going to run their payroll through? I'm the only bank in the county.
Yeah, you're right, Mr. Tutwater. That's going to bring a lot of good things to Dry Gulch.
Yeah, good things to Dry Gulch, good things to Tutwater. Oh, I tell you, this America, what a tremendous country. Where else in the world do they have something like compound interest? I mean, where can a guy earn money on someone else's money?
Mr. Tutwater, that's not all that made America great. I mean, America's great because here we have the freedom to worship God in the way that we choose.
Yeah, that's all right. But America is all about earning money.
Mr. Tutwater, America is all about having the freedom to worship God. That's the most important thing.
Well, even old Tutwater's going to be thanking God when that fort gets built. Boy, isn't this a great country?
Mr. T.U. Tutwater, all he thinks about is money, money, money.
Oh, excuse me. You wouldn't happen to be among the troops that are building the fort just outside of town?
Well, yes, sir, I am.
Oh, great. Let me introduce myself. My name is T.U. Tutwater. I'm the mayor of Dry Gulch and also the president of Dry Gulch Bank and Trust. And I just want to tell you how happy we are to have you all as part of our community. And I just want to tell you that we are more than ready to handle the Army's payroll and take this back to the troops. For every account that is opened in my bank, there is a free calendar waiting. Now listen, how is everything going? Everything on schedule?
Well, there is a bit of a problem, sir.
A problem? There is no problem that we can't handle for you right here in town.
Well, this one is not located in town, sir. It's about 100 miles south. The commander-in-chief has made the decision to move the location of the fort down in that area. There's been a border uprising.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean they're moving the fort 100 miles south of here? Well, that's outside the borders of Dry Gulch County.
Yes, sir, but you are aware, sir, that our #1 priority is to protect the borders of this country.
Oh, priorities. Well, let me tell you something, buddy. Somebody better rethink their priorities.
Yes, sir. Have a nice day.
Oh, I can't believe this has happened. I can't believe it. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. To you, what are we going to do? Oh, I just don't know whether I can go on. I had that money practically invested already. I just don't know. Wait just a minute. This might be just a blessing in disguise. Well, sure. Now, the fault is that dumb U.S. government and their inefficiency and incompetence. And maybe all I need to do is just form my own country. Yeah, that's it.
Folks, Think about how great it's going to be when Dry Gulch and the rest of the territory becomes a state. We're going to hook up with the rest of the Union and have the same benefits that they do. Sir, could I get your signature?
Sure.
Excuse me, Sam. Officially, I'm scratching my name off of this petition, and I'm going to tell you right now, not only am I not going to sign this petition, I am officially going to start a brand new country, the Republic of Dry Gulch. You'll hear more about it. Excuse me. Miss Lana, as the foremost citizen of Dry Gulch, I've come by to advise you that I am personally declaring war on the United States of America.
What?
That's correct. Furthermore, I am proposing that our community disassociate itself from the United States.
But why?
Why, you ask? Well, if the U.S. Army can take the fort, which it was going to build just outside our town, and move it down by the border just because of a few renegades, I believe we should start our own independent nation.
But, Mr. Tutwater, that doesn't justify you starting your own country.
Well, I think it does. Why, we can establish our own army, we can form our own government, my bank could serve as a national treasury, and of course I would be the first president, thereby guaranteeing prosperity for all. Now, the reason for my visit actually is this. I just want to verify that you're going to be with me in this campaign.
Well, I'm certainly not going to be with you. I am an American citizen, and I love my country, and I'm not going to get involved in any rebellion.
Well, let me give you something to think about. Once this nation is established, you might have a tough time operating this business. Good day. Now, Mike, do you realize if you will help me in the formation of this new republic, that we'll be able to put in our own railroad, staffed by our own people, and we'll be able to move your product to the marketplace faster than you've ever been able to do it?
Yeah, that's just what I need.
Now, Al, you understand, when we get our new nation formed, we raise up our army patrolling our borders, your ranch is going to be more secure than it's ever been. Why, there's not a rustler in the world that'll step a foot on your ranch. Now, Timothy, as the president of the new Republic of Dry Gulch, I want you to understand that roads are going to be a priority of my administration. No longer will your family be isolated from town in that rutted-out old road. Immediately upon the formation of our new nation, I'm going to spread gravel all the way out to your ranch. Now, if you'd like to hear a little bit more about my plans, meet me in front of the general store in just about 5 minutes.
Sheriff, do you know anything about what T.U. Tutwater's doing?
Well, if I know T.U. Tutwater, it's got something to do with making money.
Oh, no, it's different this time.
Well, what's going on, Lana?
Well, he's got all the citizens of Dry Gulch. He's trying to get them to withdraw from the United States.
What?
Yes, he wants to start his own country.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, I know it's ridiculous, but they're having a rally in the street right now.
Really? I better go check this out.
Now, folks, we have some very important considerations before us today. Are we going to say no to the oppression and bondage of the USA and say yes to the freedom of the Republic of Dry Gulch? Yes. Of course we will. Now, when we raise up our own army, they will patrol our borders and protect our homes. Yeah. And when we collect taxes, it will be spent in our community. New public works, new roads, new railroads, all for us. And personally, I'm willing to make the sacrifice of devoting my bank as the depository for the new national treasury. Now, are we going to say no to the USA and yes to the Republic of Dry Gulch? Yeah. So if someone comes snooping around asking you about statehood, what are you going to do?
Just say no.
All right.
Now, hold on just a minute, folks. You folks are mighty quick to give up your citizenship, especially in view of the fact that our forefathers had to work so long and hard to get it. They gave their lives in 2 wars to hold this union together. And I don't think you realize what we have here in America. We've got the freedom to worship God the way that we choose. We've got the freedom to be rewarded if we work hard. We can earn money here as much as we want, as long as we're willing to work for it. We have the right to elect officials and determine who's going to lead our government. We've got the right to an education. God's blessed this country in a number of ways, and before we give it up, I think we ought to consider the real reasons why T.U. Tutwater wants to form the Republic of Dry Gulch. See, folks, what he hadn't told you is he's upset. Upset because the fort's going to move down to the border, and the Army won't be running its payroll through his bank. That's the real reason he wants to start a new country. Now, I could arrest him for treason or for sedition, but I don't think I'll do that. I think he's just a little hot under the collar right now, and in a little while he'll cool off. But if I were you, I'd think twice about a new republic. God's blessed us here in America.
Now, wait a minute, folks. The sheriff doesn't know what he's talking about. Why, you haven't heard my 10-point plan for economic recovery?
Well, did you get it taken care of?
Yeah, I think so, Lana. I think these people realize that America's not such a bad place to live after all.
Well, it was all T.U. Tutwater's doing.
Yeah, that's for sure. The only reason he wanted to start a country of his own is because he wasn't going to get that Army payroll.
You know, it just amazes me how people are only concerned about the blessings they can get out of America. They're not concerned about putting things back in.
Well, I suppose we could all be guilty of that if we're not careful. You know, sometimes we've just got to stop and realize that America had to be bought and paid for. And it wasn't bought with money. Men and women gave their lives so that we could live in this free country.
Hey, Miss Lana.
Well, hi, Elmer. What can I do for you?
Well, I need some suntan lotion for my worms. Inky and Dinky and I went fishing yesterday, and they got a bad sunburn.
Elmer, if you come into my store one more time about worm products, I'm going to...
Apple grease, butterscotch, anything.
You say the hens won't lay, you ain't what's wrong. So rejoice in the Lord. Again I say rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord. It's time to lift your voice. And stir up it's way down deep in you. Rejoice in the Lord. Again I say, 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 rejoice.
The Anderson clan gets caught up with their responsibilities as good citizens on Father Knows Best next. Then at 8:30 Eastern, an old-time movie great still has stars in his eyes on Hazel, here on the Family Channel.
Well, if I know Tutwater's got something to do with making money,